Hi all, it's Kylie from Kylie's Card Craft. Thanks for joining me again today. Got a little ephemera folder today. Thanks girls for coming up with a name for me. I saw this with Kerry at Which Craft Do You Do? I will leave the link for their YouTube channel below. I will also leave the link for their website. They're one of my favourite little stores in Australia to go to, and they do a lot of handmade things, and they create a lot of stencils. They also have stamps from other companies. There's so much on there. It's one of my favourite, must do. If I need something, they're usually one of the first places I check, and they're fairly quick. I think they're Victorian based in Australia, and yeah, love the website, love the YouTube channel. Saw Kerry doing this some stage last year. It's been sitting on my desk for a while, so I thought I'd show you all today. As I said before, it's a little ephemera folder. So we're folding him up. You've got a pocket in here, and you've got a pocket in here. This one's not adhered yet because I want to show you when it's not adhered how easy it is. This one is adhered. As I said, I've been having a ball with these. So made again from a 12 by 12 piece of paper, which is what I've been trying to achieve lately, to go through my scrapbooking supplies, my card making supplies, etc. So you can use 12 by 12 piece of paper, or you can use an A4 size, letter size piece of cardstock. Cardstock's probably a little bit better. It gives it a little bit more form. This is a Kaiser Craft, which are very light in their cardstock or in their patterned papers, but it's still stronger than normal copy paper. See how that's normal copy paper. This is their cardstock, or their patterned paper. So this one's all adhered down. So as I said before, we've got our tags, because the piece that we cut off originally with this in our 12 by 12 will make all our ephemera if we want to. But it's great for just popping in your journals, going into a pocket, and filling with all sorts of bits. If you're doing a swap, if you're doing some happy mail, great little one for doing that as well. So, as I said before, I've got a couple here that are not adhered. That's all it is. Look, how easy is that? Truly, it is. So, very quickly, I've just drawn up a little diagram using a 12 by 12. Now, as I said before, you can use just normal cardstock if you want. They don't have to be 12 by 12. It could be your normal letter size or A4 size. I actually did this one in that because as I was cleaning up, I came across some lime green cardstock that would have been cut in half to make standard size cards in Australia. This is the colour. So you can see if you have something that's hideous, sorry, for me, it's not something that I would use. So no, I'm not saying it's hideous. It's not a me colour anymore. May have been once. But if you have something, just cover it. So this has all just then been covered with different book pages and then decorated on the front. Okay? So you can still do it no matter what you've got. If you haven't got any 12 by 12s, well done you. You can just do it with any other cardstock. That's fine. So let's get stuck into this. So this is a 12 by 12 piece of paper. Double-sided works the best because then you don't have to find stuff to decorate the inside with and all the rest. If you don't, then that's what I said with this one. You just cover it. And we've all got lots of bits and pieces around to cover these with. So here's our standard 12 by 12, as I said before. What we're going to do with our 12 by 12 is cut it anyway so that it is 12 inches by 8¼ inches, which almost puts it at that A4 size to start with. So I'm just going to trim that off, and I'm trimming off from the bottom because I like this and I want to actually use this on the ephemera holder. So I've already made my marks at 8¼ inches. We'll just trim straight down there. And there that one is. And I'll sit that to the side because we will use that one again later on. So here's our piece now. I want this as my front. So you will need a scoreboard. If you don't have a scoreboard, that's fine. Use your bone scorer on something a little bit soft, a mouse mat or something like that, or just fold. If you're doing something with a heavier weight cardstock like this, and if you're going to just fold them, give them a little squirt of water, okay, front and back, just a very light misting. It will allow them to bend properly without cracking your paper. So if your paper's cracking, just next time you're folding it, give it a light misting of water or anything else liquid that you want to. Right, so scoreboard. So what we're going to do with this one first of all is we're going to score dead smack in the centre at our 6-inch mark. Now you can see with these papers, they are not quite 12 inches, okay? Some cardstocks are not, some 12 by 12 papers are not exactly 12 by 12, so I'll still score it at 6 and then I can trim it up to match, okay? So there's my score line and I'm just going to fold it over and give it a good push. Okay, so let's have a look and see where this is not. Oh, look, there's very little difference in this, so I'll wait till it's made, and if we need be, we can trim it. So opening it back up again, there's our 6-inch mark. So what we've created first of all is this 6-inch where we've scored straight through the centre. What we want to do now is our side scores. Now, we want on our right-hand side, we want to score down 4 inches. So when we're doing a 12 by 12, it gets very hard with our scoreboards to find the corresponding line down here because we only want to score to that centre crease, okay? So this was our right-hand side. We're just swinging it to the left and we're going to score at 4 inches down to this centre line. Now, luckily, this one is a gingham. If you need to, sit your ruler there so that you can get a slight idea, and that way you can follow it, because sometimes it's really hard to find our markings in these. So just slowly go down and you'll see that you're going correctly on the line. Okay, so that's our 4-inch mark. So we've got 4 inches here and 4.5 inches now left here. What we want to do, so that's this one, 4 inches at the top. This full piece is 8.25. Now we're going to swing it all the way around again so that the bottom of it, because that's the way it was, the bottom is now on the left-hand side. And you can see, am I far enough down? Now you can. And you can see we're at the 8.25 inches here because that's what we cut it to. Again, we only want to go to our centre score line. We want to score down 2 inches. Okay, so we're going to score down 2 inches. I'll leave that there so that you can see it. So we're going 7.25, 6.25. Again, find that mark. Very carefully go along and only to that centre score line again. Okay, now we also want another score line at 5 1/8 of an inch. Now that is from the top, not from this score line, from the top. So it's from here to here. So 5 1/8 of an inch. We know we've got 2 there. So 3, 4, 5 and 1/8. So we're going to take that to 3 1/8. And we're going to follow along there. I'll need to move that one over there. Okay, so very carefully score along there again to your centre score line. That's it. Wasn't that hard, was it? Okay, leave that there if you need to take a screenshot of it. Right. So I can put this little guy away again now, and that'll go down here. And now what we want to do is we want to cut this centre line, so our 6-inch piece, we're going to score that, wipe that, don't listen. We're going to go from our centre fold all the way down to that 5 1/8 of an inch score that we did. Can you see it there? If I turn them over, can you see how many are there? Can you see them there now? Okay, so this is my inside. That's at 5 1/8 of an inch. It might be easier to go down there. What we're going to do is cut all the way down here to this line. Now, when I cut a score line, I can never find the exact centre of a score line. A score line is not a mil. It's always a couple of mil. So, which is why I said before, I'll usually end up having to trim it anyway, because I'm never dead smack in the middle of my score line. Doesn't matter how much I try, how many mats I use, so we're just going to go for it. So I'm going from the top down to this mark just here, which is my 5 1/8. So I'm going to take it with a blade. You can do it with your trimmer if you want, just down to that mark. Okay? If you haven't gone quite to the mark, turn it round and start there and work your other way up. So there's our cut. Simple as that, really. So, turning it back over so that it's upside down as such. And what we're going to do is we're going to fold this bottom one. So we've turned this over, remember? There's our right side that we did all our scores on. Turning it over so that our 2 scores are now on our right-hand side. Lifting it up, folding it on that line, which was our 5 1/8 of an inch. Taking it down, giving it a crease, just so it's nice and sharp. And then our 2-inch one, what we want to do, and turn it over again, is we want to fold that back on itself up here. Okay, so what it's actually done is wrapped all the way around. Make sense? Now, if you've got a non-directional paper, it works brilliantly. If you don't have a non-directional paper, like I have, you'll have a few bits and pieces wonky-wise. It's up to you whether that concerns you or how much you want to cover up. So there's one side, right? Fold our right-hand side over to our left. Now, you can see I'm over. And I'm always over because I never get this cut right. It's just me. I'm not concerned about it. It is just what it is. Right. And then our top flap, which was this one, our 4 inches down, we're going to fold down. There it is. Was that hard? So give that a good crease as well. And now you can find that if you're anything like me, you can trim this up, because I invariably cut this wrong. Just, it is what it is. I'm not concerned about it, as I said. Sit it on, we know this top bit's right, so sit it on a line or sit it in your trimmer, and all we're going to do is trim that back off so that it's nice and neat down here. Okay, so that's going to go there. And you can see I was quite a way out of whack. It's not going to make any difference. All right, trim that off, sit that over there. That's it. Now, from here, you can round your corners if you want to round your corners. I double cut that. Yes, I have. I'm going to need to fix that. Just bear with me. Just bear with me. These things happen. I'm just going to even that up. Oh, yeah, it's too many thicknesses to go through my little guillotine. So we're just going to do that. Doesn't make any difference. You could make them as small or as large as you want. Okay, there he is. So if I want to ink this, and then we're going to decorate it, you could sew this one. You could glue it. You could do all sorts of things to do as closure. But as I said before, for Happy Mail, it's beautiful. It's just so lovely. So we've got one side. Now, the other thing you can do is what I did with the one that I've actually adhered, and I've adhered that so that I can show you an actual point that I want to make. I'm going to just fold that in so that I can get some ink going along there, so that I can see that that crease is nice. I can lift this all back. Make sure all that's inked. This one needs to be inked because here's my top pocket. I can put my little notches in there if I wish, so that you can really see that they're a pocket, so you can notch this. I want a little bit on the back. Now, when you go to glue them, all you're doing when you glue them is, so this is your pocket here, and this is your pocket here. So your first lot of glue will go down there and along there to make that pocket, okay? You will then glue that and that to make that pocket. Now, if you do just that, when I find the ones I was talking about before, here we go. What you'll end up with is an extra little pocket on the side. Now, if I've got a piece of scrap here, here's one I prepared earlier that's ready to be made into a tag. See how you've then got a side pocket as well. So if that's in a journal, like so, let's say that's your journal page, that's your pocket, you can tuck that in like so, okay? If you don't have this tab, depending on the size of your journal, it might go that way. If you make a smaller one, doesn't matter where you pop them, but that will give you an extra little tab. If you don't want that, then all we're going to do is make sure that this little bit is adhered as well, okay? So we'll just glue this guy together now. And so we're going to glue this piece together down here first. Make sure all that's glued down so that we're getting rid of that other little tab. That's all. So he's gone, okay? So now what we want to do is go along the bottom. Try and stay fairly close to the bottom. And I'm going to go down there. So I've made my next pocket. There we go. And then, of course, this one is just glued down here. Now, if you're deciding that you want to stitch this with your sewing machine, it's even easier because you haven't got anywhere near as many glue areas. So if you're going to stitch it with your machine, put that in, get rid of that bit that I've got hanging off there, got bits everywhere. All you're going to do is just literally go round in that rectangle and it'll all be stitched together. How easy. So to decorate something like this, you know, you've got, here we go. Here's our piece that we had left over before. So we could make some tags with this. Look at these. Aren't they beautiful? As I said before, I want this piece out, and I'm going to chop him out right now before I go any further and lose it. I don't mean get angry. I mean lose this little piece. Because I want that one on my front. So, and I also want to... So what I'm doing with this one is, I don't know if you can see or not, it's got a double border. So I'm going on that second border. So straight down there. And into that one. Now the last one is then done. You can ink if you like. You know me, I'm going to ink. I know, you're all sitting there going, I don't need to see you inking, Kylie. I can't help it. I don't feel dressed, I suppose, if I don't ink. So there's my inking, all done, dusted. And I'd like this on the front. somewhere. What I'd also like is I've got some new lace, and I've got these. And I'm hoping that that fits in here like that. And I want something else in there. Isn't this beautiful? So like those. Because that's me. It just, oops, that's it. That's the microphone. I'm still getting used to it. Because I tuck my hair back and flick my hands away. So I want something like this. I'm just working out what exactly I want. I'd like something else in here, but something small. I'd like to continue with the lace theme. And maybe put some lace in here and in here. So I'm using, would you believe it, white. Well, it's not pure white, it's only white, I suppose. Look, it's an off-white. So we need colours of that colour. We need lace of that colour. So just beside me in my little drawer of tricks, I've got lace. We're going that colour. I do have a few in these colours. Let's have a look. I want slightly smaller though, I'm thinking. They're going into the big ones. So we'll go smaller again. Oh, there we go. I do have that, which is my favourite lace. Love this lace. Had to go and buy more of it the other day. Found it in an op shop. Looky, looky. That's my favourite lace. Oh, actually, would you believe it's smaller? That's a double one. This is a smaller one. I could use that, couldn't I? Let's see if we can find an end. Something like that along there would look lovely. And it's not going to give too much bulk because you're going to have ephemera and stuff sitting in there anyway. So I want that one along there. We can do that straight away. So let's go. It's warm here today, quite warm. So we'll see how well this thing will run and where it'll run to. So I'm going to turn it that way because I'm a righty, and then I can just go straight down. See, it's running already, just very lightly, straight along there. Don't want to get the other side. Don't need too much. Making sure I've got the right way up on that, I think is that. Just like so. I'll straighten it out as I go. Like that. It's not going to take that long to dry today. So just going to trim that over. Cut that off. Trim that one up. Right, so there's that one. We can make, I'm thinking I'm going to go the lighter colour for some ones in here already. And I really want this and maybe this for the ones in there. So let's start with those ones to start with. We'll grab that trimmer. And these are the big ones at the back. So I'm going to go about 2.5, 2.25 inches. Thinking. About 2.25. And I'll take that about that long. So make sure they're about the same length. Let's have a look. Like that. Right. And I want that piece. I really like that piece. So if I take that back here, like that. Right, so there are two bigger ones for back here. Like that. I'm going to give them just a little bit of a... Oh, actually, I know what I could use. Let's use one of these. Found mine in the garage the other day. So let's give this a little bit of a notch. And I'm quite liking... I've got a piece. I had to grab a piece of paper out. Oh, somewhere here. So that I could remember what they were. That one would look very nice, wouldn't it? Which is that one. So let's go that way. Let's make our tag out of that. This is a very old punch. Had for years. That works. Sorry, am I bumping the phone? No. All right. Gonna have to do all of them now, aren't I? Or not. Maybe this was why I wasn't using it in the first place. It worked the other day for me. I'll need to fix that one, Kylie, I'm thinking. And I want a little slit over that. So I've got, yes, here it is. I wonder if you're going to fit in there. Yeah, look at this. I've got this one, which will give me a double slit. Like that. And then I can thread something straight through that one. So if we do both of these, just gives them a little bit of a difference, not the same tag shape each time. And I will need to do something with that one. Let's have a look. Dunno. I don't know. What's wrong with that? Here we go. There's all sorts of things wrong with it. All sorts of things wrong with it. We'll just pretend we can't see that. We might do something else with that later on. All right, don't fret, don't fret. Which one was my other piece that I wanted? Wasn't that one, was it? Did anybody tell me? So let's go a different one this time. Let's go this one. Yeah, I like this one. All right. Lovely. That one's gone funny too. Good thing I've got lots of this paper. That's a bit better. That's a bit better. Right. Ink. And we'll put that double one in again, which was that one. If we can get it through there, yes. Doesn't go very far, so I'm hoping we're in the centre. Fairly well. Fairly well. Move that away. So that's that one, that's that one. They're just waiting for something to go in them, and that's given them a little bit of difference, like so. So our smaller ones, which are down here, I've got this lovely piece left, and I've got some of these. So they don't need to be anywhere near as long. And I can have a wide one, a couple of narrow ones. Let's have a look. I really like that, actually. I really like that as is. So I'm going to, because I love that pattern that's on there, and we've just used the last little bit that was on there. So let's trim it that way. And let's just normally round the corners this time. So we'll go with a little one. Not going to make any difference which way up it goes, is it? Now this is just a very small corner, so that when you've got a small piece of ephemera like this, it doesn't take off too much corner. So you just end up with like that tab. And I'm going to have that going that way. In the middle, like so. See, look, it would also look very nice down there, wouldn't it? I think that looks even nicer. We're allowed to change our mind. We are allowed to change our mind. I'm liking that. That needs a word on it. And I'm just going to stick that down straight away. I've bent that. bent that right up just then. Let's see if we can fix it. Well, can have something else on it just there. Right, so a bit of glue, move that lace. I had such a clean desk a minute ago because I cleaned it. Done a video this morning, and now then I cleaned it all up. So just going to glue this off. Gosh, I like that. Goes that way, doesn't it? How's that? That can have a word or some numbers or something like that sitting in it. So we're back to these ones. Let's just do what we should have done in the first place. And we'll give these really tiny corners. What do you reckon? I'll do my first one. I'll use that one as my template for this one. See how long my fingernails are to be able to hold it. Right. That'll be a bit better. And how long do we want it? I don't want it to cover up too many of those, so we'll just chop a bit off the bottom. Just a little bit. No rhyme, no reason, just chop a bit like so. Yep, that's a good height. This one, we could do a wider one. And I'm just using up the scraps that were left from that piece. So I'm just going to take a little bit off that one. Let's check our size. Yep. We'll do another tag on this one, but we'll go out a little bit further. Don't want it to go too long. It's that one. It's all right, I thought I had it round the wrong way. Like that and like that. Yeah, like that. All right, so we've glued this one down. Has anybody looked at the time? 30 minutes. Proud of myself. Because you only really need that first 10 minutes. If you're still hanging in with me, thank you for being here. Right, so that was the inside. That's our outside. I really want that, and I really want that. And that's where I got sidetracked before, wasn't it? Do we want to go that way, or do I want to go that way? They work either way, don't they? But if I do it that way, I can sit that up there like that. All right, so let's just get rid of some of this mess. Put the lid on the glue. Get rid of these tags. All right. It's my chair squeaking. Grab a very quick drink because it's so hot. And close that. Close that. Let's have a look. I want something on there. I'd like something floral, leafy. I had sitting around, what did I have in those? I had sitting, all this stuff sitting on my desk at the moment from Christmas and all the rest. Whoops, lost that. How about these leaves? They really are a bluey green, though. Oh, there's darker ones in there. These were from Uniquely Creative, so there is some darker. It's going to be attached to that. All right, let's go to the normal leaves. Leaves, floral. I got too much on my desk. Here we go. What have we got in this? got all sorts sitting here. So, actually, I think, I can't remember. Was it your creative studio? Those ones might have come through. They're not a bad one. Now, they had flowers to match, florals. Large florals, small. They did too. So. Yep, they do. Look. What else did they have in those florals? I've used quite a bit of them, but I've still got some left. Now, don't know if they're in this one. Oh, here we go. Just going to play around so that it can sit. Can it go up? Does it need to go down? I don't know. Not a gardener. Not a gardener. Never was. I can admire, but I can't do. So, speaking of ephemera holders, maybe I need somewhere else. I need to resort my flowers, don't I? I need to resort my flowers. Maybe we could do a bunch. Bunch? Yes, it's a bunch, isn't it? Not a collection. Bunch, vase, whatever. Let's have a look. Or let's have a look at what's in one of the big ones. So we go florals large now. I'd rather the small ones, I'm thinking. Yeah, there's lots of them in here. Because I'd like to put some words or something. And I don't want to take up all, so I'd like those, but not with that. And I don't want to take up all of that beautiful lace. So I'm thinking, yeah, now they're all just way too big. Oh, well, that one was easy. Let's have a look. I'm going back there. All right. What I want to do, set all that over there, is what I'm going to do. Set my leaves back over there as well on those ones. And I'm actually going to cut round these so that they're slightly smaller. So I know they're fussy cut, and that's how they come, but they've just got a little bit too much of a border on there for me. So what I tend to do is I'll still leave a bit of a border, but I will trim it so that it's only a mil or so. What's that, a 16th? Is it? I don't know. So that it's just got that little edge on it, and then I'm not getting that much of that cream around it as well when I've got an off-white. So let's have a look. So now I've got that instead of that. See the difference? Like a couple of those. I like that one. I actually like that one, especially now that he's trimmed. So, in the individual ones down here, we'll go back to those. And we'll find... And this is how my time now disappears. We were doing so well with our time. And now I've started fiddling around. Here we go. Here we go. Look at that. We're on a winner. We're on a winner. Winner, winner, chicken dinner. And that's that red again. Too many reds. And I don't really want to do the whole thing in red. But yes, look at that. Maybe I don't use the red. Maybe I'm used to using the other colours, and that's why I've not got the other colours. All right. So we'll make do with what we've got. Let's see if we can trim this guy. I'm going to put that in there just for now. I may chop it out later on, okay? We'll see. But I'm doing this without my blade, so we'll see how we go. There we go. Yes, I much prefer those colours. Alright, and play with this over here. Work out what I want. And oh, we got small. They're the same, they're the same. I could use that little bit. So I'm just going to take that off. Do the same with this one. Make it a little bit smaller than the border that's already with it. If you find it's easier when you're doing these, if you like a blade, use your blade to get in and around it. But little fine, small scissors usually work the best for going up and around, and then I will usually put my blade into those bits. So, there goes Bertha, sorry. Want too many jagged edges. I just want it nice and soft, so rounded. Let's have a look. Might not need my blade at all. Where am I at? There. Yep, I'm gonna need a blade for that bit. Just into that corner, like so. And see how we go going down there. Well, this is exhilarating, isn't it? Not only have you had to sit there and watch me ink, now you're going to have to sit here and watch me cut. Oh, such a thrilling day. Sorry, so if you are still with me, thank you. Right. So I really like these leaves and these flowers, but that will just change the look of them again. And now what I've got is that, like that. Right, and to ink these ones, I just want this soft look going around the edge. So what I will use for that is these little blending brushes. And I will actually do it on my glass mat. That's why I like my glass mat. And I will use something soft. So I will use my archival ink in the tree branch. I'll just sit it on and just very gently go around. And what that's going to do again, give it a little bit of definition, but it takes away that border again and just gives it that, so it's not as pronounced again, I suppose would be the best bit for it. Now this is a permanent ink, doesn't damage your brushes at all, and you can just use your brush. I leave this brush, this specific brush is just for browns, and it's usually for these ones, these archival inks, for just going around cut out pieces. So let's have a look. Does anybody know how I had that? Right, and it works really well when you've got things like this that could rip when you're trying to ink them normally. So you're just very softly going around, and then you can go down into those sections. Gives it that edge without it ripping or bending up. And just takes it through. Right, that's all we need to do for that. That goes back in there. This one goes back in the drawer beside me. And somewhere here, I will have a piece of there. just to give that a quick wipe. See, so it's on there. And then I'll slide that back over. And down. Right. I want that there. That there. So I want something like that, don't I? In there. So we're going to adhere this one together. And at this stage, I'm just going to pop a little bit of glue there. I can glue it all down properly in a moment, but it's just to tack it so that I can see where it was that I wanted it. And I'm going to put a little bit of glue down here, which was there and there. Again, just to tack that so that I could see where I wanted it. So that they're all tacked together, and then this whole thing can then be stuck properly. But I find it's easier to put my collection together when I'm not fiddling around with lace and all the rest. So I want that there. I want that there like that. How's that? Really not that hard. These, as I said before, we could round the corners on these. So right now I'm going to put some fabric glue again on the end of that one, which then gives us a good area to actually attach. Oh, this is coming out so quickly. We'll get rid of these stringy bits shortly. I want to make sure I've got it all the way up there because I don't want any of those to catch when you're putting it in and out of your journal. I might need some tweezers, Kylie. Grab some tweezers. On a non-glued spot. Alright, I'm just going to sit that there. Like so. Very lightly. Now I'm going to turn it over and I'm going to press that into it. So now I can actually glue the rest of this. Now I don't want glue all over it because I don't want the glue to be seen. It's as simple as that. So what I'll pick is the thicker spots in this. So I've got here. I've got this flower. I've got this flower, and of course I've got all this area here that's now covered so that we can pop our glue on there. A slightly heavier spot around that. And that way I won't see my glue. I hate seeing my glue. It's just, again, it's a me thing, but there. A little bit around those edges. Little dabs. This glue's fairly good, very good. I love this glue. But so it's the Hillmar's fabric glue, but still you don't want it. The only problem I have with this glue, of course, is the fact that it's stringy, but sit you there. Try and get you straight as I sit you on. Before I push you completely down, I need to get some glue on that so that I can tuck it under there. Right. Just before it completely sticks down. Like so. Try and get straight, Kylie. Now I'll give that a good push. Because, let's face it, in all honesty, that should have been stuck first. But, you know, we got around it. How's that? So do we like that? I'd still like a word there. I need to come up with a word there. That's fine. I will do that. So that's what I mean. They are just so easy to make. It is, as per normal, the decorating that takes the time. I will pull this back in again for you if you need to see it now that you can see exactly what it is. So normal 12 by 12, cut it down to 8 1/4, or a standard letter size cardstock piece, A4 cardstock piece will work the same, but instead of the 6 inches, just fold it in half, which will give you your halfway mark. Okay, it's just easier that way. Just fold it dead smack in half, but then still continue with these measurements. It's going to be about 8 1/4 anyway. Okay, I hope you've enjoyed that. I hope you like these. I've loved doing them. I'll go that way and that way. Oh, look at that. Both very lacy. But here's a grungy one just in case. How's that? Thanks for that, guys. If you did like it, don't forget, hit that thumbs up button. And if you haven't subscribed, I would love you to subscribe. Thank you very much. To all my new subscribers out there, thank you for coming along on this journey with us. And I hope to see you again. Thank you. Bye.